Hi everybody. Today we are going to talk about writing through your mistakes. Errors will be inevitable.
Alyssa Liu shrugged off an oopsie moment on the Olympic stage as she performed and won gold. Commentators asked about the slight wobble in her landing. She confidently replied that outcomes were not her focus and just laughed it off. Instead, she was focused on the crowd, even making eye contact with them between jumps. As a stenographer, we're on a smaller stage, and our writing in real time is also a performance that will have mistakes. Your mental concentration will break at times. If you have a client-focused mindset that you're there to serve others and their needs, rather than a self-focused mentality of, I'm being judged, you'll be able to push through mistakes better with cleaner performance. I learned to push through mistakes in my youth as a church pianist. I started playing piano for the church choir at age 14, and they performed a cantata for Christmas. It's a 45-minute long sequence of songs. When the choir is singing, you can't stop playing after making a mistake. You've just got to keep performing and flying high. Except, like Dr. Seuss said, when you don't. The story of the time I stopped the entire church worship team and all the congregation singing because we had wound up at a chorus that was out of singing range was hilarious. I had followed the worship leader who started on the wrong key in the first verse of the song. But because I played piano by ear, I just tried to cover for him and not show up his mistake. So I led the whole worship band into the wrong key, following the leader, until we arrived at the chorus, and it was so far out of range in the highest octaves that nobody could sing anymore. We were on a Dr. Seuss prickly perch, and the song came to a sudden stop. The whole congregation noticed that mistake, and many came to comment about it after the service. They said to me, "How come you made a mistake today? You never make mistakes." Actually, as a pianist, I make several mistakes every time. They just don't notice it because I keep playing and pushing past the mistakes. This is a necessity in any performance. Actors and actresses ad-lib after they messed up or forgot their lines. A chef substitutes an ingredient that he runs out of. A speaker stumbles over a few words and continues to talk. So when you practice your stenography to the TV shows or whatever you use for dictation material, practice pushing past mistakes to continue writing. This is an essential skill. You see it in my videos as well. When testing for NCRA certification exams, there's a crucial switch there, where it's not normal performance. You're not in a situation where you're serving a client, but are actually being judged. It's normal to have test anxiety, so just realize that failing to pass multiple times on a certification exam is not anything to beat yourself up over. Keep trying until you pass. One guy who became a successful head of the court reporting department in his city said that it took him 4 times to pass the CSR. So don't be worried. Not passing the CSR or RPR or any other certification exam is not a reflection of your ability to do a job. There's the added pressure of being judged, and it's abnormal. On the job, your service mentality gives you a mission, and you feel less self-focused than on a certification exam. That's a big difference. So let's pivot to talk about how to pass a test, whether the NCRA certification exam or an agency's longer test of your abilities. My first suggestion is that you take the Box Rescue Pastilles, which are a completely natural herbal supplement that helps calm your nerves in stressful situations. I once used it when I was going to drive a long distance on the freeway through unfamiliar interchanges that were rapidly coming up on each other. 5 freeway junctions in a matter of 15 minutes or so, something like that. I felt nervous that I would wind up on the wrong freeway trying to change lanes to get into the right place. This was before the days of GPS on cars and cell phones. This was in the days of paper maps and memorizing your route. So I felt really nervous, and I took a few of these rescue pastilles, and the most amazing thing happened. I drove that pathway home without the slightest feeling of stress. And I made it without making a mistake either through the freeway junctions. So my suggestion is that after taking the herbal supplement an hour and a half an hour before the test, set up your equipment early, like an hour early, and start practicing. Just like the punctuality needed for being on a cart captioning job, you need punctuality for being early to the certification exam. When you practice, throw ellipses into your writing when you miss something. This will help you recover from dropping to keep writing on the machine. And this will help on the certification exam when you miss something too, because you'll just throw in ... and be done with it. But don't just throw ellipses into your writing when you drop and leave it at that. Go back in post-production of the transcript to redo the dropped segments and practice them repeatedly for skill building. When you practice what you missed, that's what I call targeted practice. When you just practice to the TV and drop whatever you can't get, that's what I call fun practice. Both are needed to become a successful stenographer. The fun practice builds your ability to sustain mental concentration for long hours and take on long shifts of a job. The targeted practice makes your writing clean for even the most difficult portions of dictation.
Okay, so we see that we need to have the skill of writing through our mistakes in stenography and continuing to write even though you've dropped something. The best is just throw an ellipses in there and go on with it. You might just drop one word and keep on if one word stumps you. That's the best way to pass the certification exam. And see you next time.